How do you overcome extreme challenges and things happening in your life? Well, let's find out about the Stockdale paradox. And hi, and welcome to my daily journey through the Daily Stoic, 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hasselman. If you enjoy Stoic content and self-improvement, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today is for September 5th. Focus on what is yours alone. Quote, "Remember then, if you deem what is by nature lavish to be free, and what is not your own to be yours, you'll be shackled and miserable, blaming both gods and other people. But if you deem as your own only what is yours, and what belongs to others as not truly yours, then no one will ever be able to coerce, or stop you, and you will find no one to blame or accuse. You will do nothing against your will. You will have no enemy. No one will harm you, because no harm can affect you." EPICTETUS, Epicurean 1.3. After Captain James Stockdale was shot down over Vietnam, he endured 7.5 years in various prison camps. He was subjugated to brutal torture and but always struggled to resist. Once, when his captors intended to force him to appear in a propaganda video, he purposely and severely injured himself to make it impossible. When Stockdale's plane was hit, he told himself he was entering the world of Epictetus. He didn't mean that he was attending a philosophy seminar. He knew he knew what he was to face when he crash landed. He knew it wouldn't be easy to survive. Interviewed by James Collins for the business classic Good to Great, Stockdale explained there was one group that had the most trouble in prison. It was the optimists, he said. The ones who said we're going to be out by Christmas, and Christmas would come, and Christmas would go. They would say we're going to be out by Easter. Easter would come, and Easter would go. Then Thanksgiving, and then it would be Christmas again, and they died of a broken heart. But Stockdale persevered and did make it out. He quenched his desires and focused exclusively on what he did control, himself. Yeah, that's a really powerful story. Before making this video, I was doing a little bit more research on Captain James. It actually ended up as an Admiral James Stockwell. And I was reading about, and I'm going to misquote it probably, the Stockwell paradox. Learning how to face intense situations, but holding on to faith that you'll make it out in the end. It's not necessarily being an optimist, but it's recognizing and living in the reality of what's in front of you and knowing your goal of and this is kind of reading a little bit more about his story, which I thought was absolutely fascinating, is that, and I think what this reading is really getting down to is one of those really basic Stoic principles of recognizing what's in your control and what's outside your control. For Stockdale, he was shot down, no control over that. He was put in these prisons, but he knew that he could still resist, and he had control over his own self. When they tried to put him for a propaganda video, he mutilated his face so they couldn't use it for film. So he was taking control of his situation. However brutal, but still living in reality of the facts. Being an optimist, who failed the most was the optimist, because they put it oh, this is going to happen by then. It's no, that could happen. I can make it happen, but I have to take the action now. So how do we apply this to our daily lives? Recognizing no matter what situation you're in and what's going on, if you allow those outside forces to get inside and kind of wreck space in your head, if you let if you let people inside your head, what's the rent inside your head? How much are you charging to let people be there? Are you letting those negative thoughts, those dismissive comments, for anyone who's on social media, right? People leave hate comments all the time. How much space are you letting them take up in your head? Learning to raise that rent, to be no, that's outside my control. What's inside my control is taking the actions the daily actions to get where I want to go, and having that unparalleled faith that I believe I can do it. Like, I was having a great conversation with my partner last night, and like, you know, I do get at moments kind of waver of faith of like, oh, will I make it as a coach, or will I be able to? And I got back down to the reason I had to kind of, this morning, I really meditated on the reason why I make these videos, why I put myself out there to be a coach, to want to become a therapist, to go back to school, to be a counselor, is that I want to serve, I want to help others. And however capacity that happens, I'm going to take those actions to do it. You know, I'm not in the best of financial situations right now. I'm not in the best of kind of living situations, but I'm making the most of what's in front of me and what I have. You know, it's that kind of attitude of gratitude in the sense of recognizing the tools that I have and not looking at my wants, but looking at what I actually do have, right? What's in front of me, right? I have a roof over my head. I've got a support structure around me. I have opportunities coming my way, and focusing on the things that I have, not the things that I don't. And knowing that I can still achieve the things that I want, but I have to work within the reality of now. Being like an internal optimist is you're kind of projecting the future of what could happen, and you're not living in the reality of now. Because the only moment you're alive is the moment of now. Recognizing that it's what you can do now. What are the actions you're taking right now to improve, to get where you want to go? And having that kind of that guiding light, that North Star. I remember when I was about 15 or 16, I put on a dinner for the Boy Scouts for the Order of the Arrow. We had the speaker come in from Hawaii, and I attribute the quote to him because I know it isn't from him. It was, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you land amongst the stars. The idea being that you have a big goal and that you're always going towards it. And I think kind of the Stockdale Paradise is it kind of gets to that point as well, is that you have that big goal of what you want to achieve, but you have to be grounded in reality of what you can do now to make that happen, and to keep and not allow people to take your power, and hold on to your power, your internal strength. And it comes from those spiritual and those values and that endurance and resilience within, right? To be able to endure and to have the resilience that when life throws you problems and situations, that you can handle it and not get knocked off your feet. You know, building that strong foundation of that internal self, so that you can walk through the storm, and not you'll get battered and bruised a little bit, but you won't get knocked down. You'll be able to actually walk through it and get through the other side. And it's going through those challenges and trials and tribulations do we truly grow. It's kind of the readings of the last few days have been talking about. It's the ability to walk through adversity, to walk through it, to, when you see an obstacle, not run away, but actually learn ways to push through it, to get through it, to go around it, above it, around, like through, above, around, however it may be, but it's facing it head on. Because the fact of the reality, especially if you're trying to get sober or dealing with your ADHD or anxiety, denying that it doesn't exist doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. You know, it's denying the reality of like, all right, these are my struggles. This is what I'm working towards. How can I use my things that are in my advantage to move forward? This is, you know, goes back to, you know, my coaching program of really learning to build that so that whatever life throws at you, you can make it happen. You can achieve all the things that you want. And that's going to be easy. Life isn't easy. But you can still, like, a lot of people who have achieved high things, they don't, it's not just like handed to them. It's that ability to progress through trials and tribulations that grows and gains your strength, your confidence to know that you handle it. Like, you know, like I'm trying to build that confidence into doing my coaching program, into doing these videos. Like, I see the progress, and from when I first started making content to now, of how much I've improved. And yeah, I've had my down moments. I've had my kind of like my doubts, but I've learned to kind of work through them and get back into my great why, to the shoot for the moon part, and keep my feet on the ground to move forward. If you're looking to find that big why and you're looking to help someone to keep your feet on the ground, feel free to reach out to me. This is what I do coaching for. Even if it's just a quick free 30-minute chat, just to give you the tools to help you get started, because the hardest step is usually the first one. But I believe that you can do it. If you're watching this, you're probably watching it for a reason. You probably stumbled upon this, and and if you're sticking around this long, something's resonated with you, and I can help you get through those, give you the tools, those internal tools that you can overcome anything, overcome those limiting mindsets, overcoming your doubts and your fears. Fear can stand for two things: F everything and run, or face everything and recover. If you're looking to recover, you're looking to grow, come talk to me. I can help you. But that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, and you have a great, if not better, day.